Hey, welcome to the Rubin Report. I'm Dave Rubin, but you can call me Carlos Danger. We have a great show for you this week. Did you hear about the royal baby? Did you hear there's a baby, a royal baby? Can you believe it? I've got two great guests for you. Jayar Jackson from the TYT All-Star team making his first appearance on the Rubin Report.
I'm just trying, man. You know, I gotta spread out.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And first time, you were the first time two-peat guest. You are now the first time three-peat guest. Miss Kelly Carlin is right here.
These have to be consecutive, right?
Yes.
There's never been a back-to-back consecutive guest, but maybe if you guys impress enough.
We could be really impressed today. We could make it.
Maybe it can be pulled off. All right, so let's get right to it. The big news of the week, the royal baby, and that of course pushes everything else out of the way. Kate Middleton and Prince William, they had a kid. The kid is now more powerful and richer than you will ever be. And CNN and all the other news organizations want you to know that. The coverage has been endless, and it's gonna continue. Even this morning, CNN had on their Chiron that uncle, who's the uncle?
Harry?
Uncle Harry. He plans on being a responsible but fun uncle. So
did it poop yet? Do we know? Have we
has
seen
there been
have
a
we seen
royal
the poop
poop
yet? Have we seen the poop?
I don't know. All right, so there's a lot of ways we can go with this, but let's just start with the general thing. What is our obsession as Americans with the royal family? It seems a little ludicrous considering we left England originally because we didn't want to be under the auspices of a royal family. What do you
I have theories about this.
Give me a theory.
So my theory is that we are a little jealous. You know, so our celebrities are royalty now in this country. But I really do believe that, you know, kind of archetypally, we have this king, queen thing that we want to have a relationship with. And they fit right in. It's like, oh, look, there they are. We can have that. And in America, we can kind of have our cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? It's like we don't have to have any royals. We get to borrow the royals if we like it.
Right,
you know?
but we sort of treat our presidents now, and especially Obama, as royalty, right?
Well, yeah, I guess, what's our benefit in doing it? At least our benefit in we have a royalty. Of course, there's the Bush family that have been, there's a few presidents.
Actual royalty.
Yeah, that's some great royalty. Yeah,
exactly.
The Bush family.
How embarrassing that is.
Yeah.
I mean, we went from HW to W, possibly Jed. And then Jeb, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How can I mess up the royal family?
There's definitely a Jed in there somewhere.
Yeah.
They're from Texas.
And then we push our Clintons. We had a Clinton, and then it hiccuped for a second, but we might bring the next one back.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where we have to have this connection to this same group to feel this reverence to, and we do it with just our politicians in general, which is why politicians can't do anything human and mess things up, because we're like, well, you're a politician. Well, yeah, it's fine, but we see this royal family as immaculate.
Yeah.
They have now a perfect baby.
And we love the pomp and circumstance.
Yes.
You know, we do. We have our flag waving and the jets coming by and you get all misty-eyed and you know, and there's a lot of Anglophiles in this country. But the amount of cover, I tweeted yesterday because I was like, I went on to CNN like this, like barely like, okay, let's check it out. And I watched about 30 seconds of it, I was like, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Because it was just so insane.
They had a woman on who they claimed was their royal correspondent. This is CNN, who also closed their Baghdad bureaus. So that tells you, really, that tells you a lot about what.
Priorities.
Yeah, but so I'm of two minds of this, because on one hand it seems crazy. You know, it's just this rich family that is taking and taking and taking from society.
Yeah.
And while they have all kinds of economic problems there, as we do here. And then on the other hand, I think there might be something good about it, because they get to get out the cult of personality on these people, where we want Obama to not only be a president and function and do stuff, but also be our hero. So I kind of think it might be good. Do you buy that theory a little bit?
I don't. I'm trying to.
You don't have to buy it.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Does that make any sense to you, that maybe they get some of their gossip stuff out, all the stuff that we push? You know, we want Obama to be this perfect man and play basketball perfectly and speak perfectly and be funny, where they get some of the cult of personality, all that personal stuff out with the royal family, because they don't really have jobs. So they can, you know, that way their prime minister can focus on actually
They
working.
need to put some importance on them because they don't do much, I guess, is the situation. I mean, at least we have a dual use of our leaders and our royalty.
Here's the thing that I find really interesting about this particular royal family is that I watched an amazing documentary about them, and when Queen Elizabeth was raised, her father said to her, if we are going to have any purpose in this culture, we have to be of service to this country. She was trained from day one every single day she is of service. She goes out into the community and does something, and they do try to raise their people up, and they do try to connect with them, and in a very connecting people way. And although they're rich and they got all that land and all the jewels and all that kind of stuff, and it's a fairy tale.
The big castle full of gold that they swim in. That whole
yes,
thing. Yeah.
I think in some ways it's like a more tangible service that they're in with their people than even our own politicians, who it becomes all about politics and taking sides, and now it's ridiculous because nothing works.
Right.
I think they hold a kind of a vacuum or an interesting kind of a place where there's a space where they actually can be idealized in some way. So I think you're kind of right about the cult of personality.
Does that work?
thing.
Would that work for us though? Do we need to
I
take
don't
away
think
some
so.
power from these
I
guys
don't
who are
think it would
power
work
hungry
for
and then
us.
control our lives?
Right.
We need to make them. Well, they're already. A lot of them are figureheads. They're controlled by other powers anyway.
Completely, yeah.
It's just those are hidden.
Yeah.
Right. So right there, it's a little more out front. So last thought on this, and this is what you were touching on earlier. Why is it that our media, and this goes to a much bigger problem, that we've had 3 weeks of nonstop 24-hour Zimmerman coverage, fine. Then we've had royal baby coverage for the last 2 days, and then yesterday, amazingly, the royal baby got knocked off because of wiener slash a dick, basically. Why can't we balance two things at once? I don't want to completely dismiss the importance of a royal baby. Okay, it's fine. But why can't we do a little of that and a little of this? We have to do 24-hour coverage of everything because we're a bunch of schmucks, I think.
We have the shortest attention span of anyone. I don't know if this spreads to also British folks, and when they have their coverage, I'm sure their coverage is just as insane, probably worse.
Yeah.
But I think the only reason we have this one-track mind is because that's what we've been pushed. And then they form our brains.
Yeah.
If they give us two things, our brains will learn to adapt.
Right.
Maybe we can absorb and consume two things at once and actually thoughtfully put it through our brains. But until we get it, we're not going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, do you agree? Do you think it's just they feed us crap, so we just eat crap, pretty much?
Yeah, I think the structure of media is a corporate structure. It's all about ratings. It's not about informing people. So this is what we get.
Yeah. Do you guys remember there was apparently a revolution in Egypt a couple weeks ago? We were going to have a no-fly zone in Syria. Did you know Detroit went bankrupt? But there's a royal baby.
The story of that day, the day when the baby was born, not unborn, unnamed baby was born.
The baby was unborn. That's a whole other thing.
Really hope his name is going to be.
issue.
Yeah. Really hope his name is Lamar. But
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
that would be something.
the biggest, that story, there was one of those, I hate when people say, so while you guys are talking this nonsense, you know what real story happened? But that day, there was a prison break at Abu Ghraib, and they released, escaped 500 prisoners
Yes.
with trucks backed in, explosives and RPGs and machine guns and firefights. I said, this is like, if anything, this is a sensational story. So you can cover it and say, you see this badass fight in Abu Ghraib? But they didn't even do that.
But they didn't even do that. All right, well, I'll put a cap on this by saying that I saw a tweet from Anderson Cooper last night. He was saying, coming up on AC 360, and it was royal baby, Anthony Weiner, and a man who almost got swallowed by a whale. So that's
Anderson.
what's going on over there.